Hi everyone, Cari Fennell here with Prima, and tonight I'm going to be making these gorgeous bloom cards. They're really simple to make, and you can see that I silhouetted the girl, so it has a very unique card front. Um, and then I used the Prima watercolor pencils to kind of add color to my girl, and then we glammed her up with some art ingredients such as beads and sequins and some glitter. So I hope you can see just some cool shots here. So this is what I'll be making on the show tonight. Here is Summer, my girl Summer. She's very sparkly. She has sassy little flower right here, some beads and some very fine art sugar glitter in there just to add that little extra sparkle. I don't know if you guys can see that. I know I have an extra light on. I thought when I had it off earlier it was just a little too dark. So I don't know how many cards I'm going to get through tonight, but I'm going to try to get through as many as I can. I probably will only need to make a couple, and then you guys will get the gist of it. So here again, see, I've silhouetted the card front. I colored the inside of the card. So each girl is stamped, and then I just kind of cut around her, and then I did some shading and then some decorating. So these are really fun, cute cards. Jack has a lot of friends that you know, he would love to give these to, and I have, of course, friends, girlfriends, you know, relatives that would love to get these. So I feel like these cards are just all occasion. They're really just pretty, you know, to give to a friend. Here's Anna Lee. I didn't show her in the picture, but you know, here's just another example where I stamped her and I silhouetted her and did some fun decorating again. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to kind of go through the basics first and stamping and how I did this. And we can start with Serena or Emily. I'm not sure who here yet. Let's see. Okay, we can start with Serena. Serena is really, really beautiful. She's kind of like a sea princess. And I say that because she has really interesting shells in her hair and like a little, what is that called? I'm having a mind blank right now. But sand dollar, thank you. And then you can see she's got some cool bubbles coming up here. And on my card, I actually masked out the one bubble, which is really easy to do, and I'll show you how I did it right now. And her little sentiment that comes with her is called, it says, "Life is splendid," which is, I think, perfect. I think that's definitely a great sentiment to add to a card if somebody has done something really wonderful or something wonderful has happened. All right. So you can see I'm putting it in the Prima stamp block. The stamp block is about 6 by 8 inches. It has a ruler on two sides. It fits nicely in your hand, and when you press down, it'll give a nice even impression, which is hard to get sometimes with these larger stamps, right? Am I right? Okay, so what I used was Jamie's A4 watercolor paper pad. You get 20 sheets, so that would yield about 40 cards. The A4 size is a little bit different than what we're used to. It's 21 centimeters by 29.7 centimeters. So, you know, A4 is usually like a stationary size for, you know, Europe. So what I did is I just cut it down, like I cut this length down to 11 inches, and then I just cut it in half at 5.5. So it's a little bit smaller than your standard invitation size, which is fine. No one's ever really going to know. It's just going to be a little bit looser in the envelope by like 1/4 of an inch or so, maybe not even, maybe like 1/8 of an inch. Now there's a toothy side to it, and there's also a smooth side. So I like to stamp the girls on the smooth side. Whenever I'm stamping with faces, anything like that, you know, I try to go smooth. I'm giving it a really, really, really nice crease here because when I open it back up, I'm going to see my crease. Okay, so this is going to help me. I'm going to grab a piece of, I'm going to grab a piece of copy paper, which is not exactly very pretty looking. I don't know what happened to it. And I'm going to lay it along that seam. I think it's better and easier to stamp on the card front when the card is flat, rather than folded in half and it's popping up and it's becoming a huge pain. Okay. What I like to use for these cards, since I'm using watercolor, that means I'll be adding water, is archival ink. You can use archival or you can use StazOn. It's totally up to you. It doesn't really matter. Whichever permanent solvent ink you prefer that does not react to water. Okay. You could even stamp with these and do like clear embossing or do like a black or brown embossing and color in. It's totally up to you. So now what I do for her, the bubble on her face, is I just kind of cut out a rough little circle from really thin paper. Like, I would say like printer paper would work good. And you want the circle just to be big enough just to cover the bubble. I'll just take some adhesive here, just kind of add it to the back of that circle. Of course, it's not even, but I just want to make sure that it sticks to the stamp, because when I'm inking it, I don't want it popping off, and then, you know, you get your fingers all inky, and it's kind of it's not fun. Okay. So there. So I've actually made the mask. This is a masking technique. So I've made the mask. Now, I'm going to go ahead and be really generous with the ink all over her. And when I do this, I want to make sure that the face is inked really well, because even if like this part over here isn't inked well, it's not a big deal. But for some reason, when the face isn't inked well and you get a little bit of a spot, it's like, ooh, you know, it just doesn't look right. And anything off to the side, you can really kind of fudge with like some of the embellishments we're adding to the card front. So I just like to tap, tap, tap. I use a nice juicy pad. This one's called Potting Soil. So this is the brown I've been using on all my cards. All right, so I think I've got her pretty good. I'm going to rearrange that copy paper back along that seam. Perfect. And you can even use a little washi tape or something to hold it down if you're concerned. And I like to stand when I stamp. And I'm going to be stamping off, which means, oops, wait a minute, I almost didn't remove my little mask piece. Remove that. Okay, because you'll get a mole, I think is what you'll get. You don't want that. Okay, so remove that mask piece. And then carefully, oops, I moved it when I set it down. Hopefully that's not going to wreck it. Okay, and I'm going to press really evenly all over the stamp. Oh, good. No worries. Just a tiny bit of a spooge over here. Nothing I can't live without. So there she is. Okay, so I was able to get her face without the circle. And now what I'm going to do is just go right along the hair. And I'll show you. I'm going to go right along the hairline and just kind of silhouette it out. Now, if anybody needs any assistance or you need any help, Delana is moderating tonight to help me out a little bit. So if you have questions, let her know. And if she can't answer the questions, she can send me a quick text and I can answer them for you. Right, so now I'm not too concerned about how even I'm going along the edge, because the trick to something like this is feel free to ink the edges a little bit later, which I'll show you. It adds a little bit of shading, but it also helps kind of cover up any of the mistakes that you make while you're fussy cutting. So there we go. Like, there's her silhouette, and I just went along the hairline and the face. That's it. It was not too hard. And every card's going to come out a little bit different. So, you know, maybe I was over a little bit further with this one, maybe not, but that's okay, because you just kind of want to get an edge of some sort. The top of her head isn't on there as much as it is on here, as you can see. So it just depends on how I stamp it and how far I get, you know, over to the side. I hope that makes sense. So it's okay if it's not perfect every time and they all look exactly the same. All right, I'm going to put my my stamp off here, And I'm going to do another one while we've got the stamp block out and everything. This is Emily. You can see Emily's been well used, at least her index card has. And Emily's really beautiful. And she has kind of like the steampunk little gears going around her head. And she's got some really adorable goggles on. So for Emily, I'll show you what I did. All right, I'm going to fold this card here. So all the Bloom Girl stamps I absolutely love. You can't go wrong with any, and like everybody likes to pick and choose their favorite images and girls. And there's such a nice variety. You know, you get some really gorgeous different hairstyles and facial expressions. So I like to play with all of them. All right, so let's use my bone folder here to really get a nice crease. And I'm going to open that baby back up. So we will do that. And then I'm going to get Emily all inked up here. I'm showing you how I stamped Emily because her card front's just a little bit different. I kind of cut around her on both sides of her head. Okay, and I'm just really making sure I get her face as good as I can get it. All right, remember to put that piece of paper back there so you don't get the image on the back of your card. Well, you can, I guess. It wouldn't really matter. And with Emily, I'm going to try to just sort of center her the best I can. Oh, I did it again. I lifted up this corner edge twice now. I don't know what's going on with me tonight. Yeah, this steampunk is so cool, and she's so pretty. Ah, perfection. This does take some practice. I know some people like to put a little bit of an aid underneath. Like, let's say your table is not completely flat. You can take an old mouse pad that you no longer use, because now you can buy, you know, little mouse for your computer, and it's all electronic, and you don't need a mouse pad for it anymore. So maybe you have one lying around that you don't really use anymore, and those will help give you a nice image. Okay, so over here I can go around her hair. You can see, like, you could sit in front of the TV and make, you know, stamp these guys and do a bunch at a time, so you have some in your stash just to give to your girlfriends. Right? But these really do make like great teen cards. Like, I'm, you know, not even kidding when I say Jack's friends would totally love these. And my nieces are young as well. All right, so it's hard to talk and cut at the same time. I don't know why it is. Maybe just tonight it is. Okay, so I'm going to go around. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera a little bit. Okay, so there I've kind of cut on this side, right? So I'm going to fold the card back. So that leaves me with like this edge. And I can just kind of follow along that line where I put a seam on the card. That's a little crooked. Hold on. Yeah, it's a little crooked. It's all right. So see, now you have her just kind of going around. And she looks really beautiful. So simple, simple. All right. So now we've got Serena and we've got Emily done. And I think I went ahead. Let me just double check here. Yes, I did Summer ahead of time too. Let's see. Yeah, here's Summer. So same thing. I just stamped Summer and then just cut along this edge. So like her eye is pretty close to the seam of the card. See that? But she just looks just perfect, just like that. So cutting around that worked out great. Okay, so you guys get the gist. All right, so now the fun part. Now that we've stamped and you kind of got a handle on that, we're gonna just go in and start coloring. And the pencil set I'm using is called Spring and Fall. So this set is actually not one that you would probably gravitate toward automatically thinking you'll get all your main colors, but really this is a great set. And I did skin, I did, you know, all of the extra coloring from this one set. Okay, and from Spring and Fall, I used number 8 for the skin. And actually for summer, I went a little bit darker, which I'll go over that later. I just kind of gave her a little bit more color. Okay, so you can start with the skin or you could start with the hair. It doesn't really matter. And what I did is I kind of went along that hairline, and then I brought the color over for her chin just a little bit more. But you can see, like, I really kind of concentrated along the edge of her face. Oh gosh, maybe let me turn off the light and see if there is that a little bit better. It's only gonna let me know if it's a little too dark, but I just thought there was too much glare. I don't know if you can see the coloring. This is really light color too. Okay, so I'm kind of going along the edge, and then she's got a little bit of a chin here. So let's bring the chin out a little bit, and then I'm gonna go just along like the same edge, just along her shoulder and her neck. Okay, and I don't care about the bubble. I'll just add skin right over that bubble, and then there's another little crook over here in this part of her shoulder or her neck, so you can darken that in too, and I'll just bring that color over just like that. Okay, so we're going to get some really nice, beautiful, even shading. Okay, you don't really need to press very hard with these pencils because a little bit of the color goes a long way. All right, now in our water brush set, you're going to get 2 different sizes of nibs. The light looks good. Okay, so you have a little bit of a bigger one, a little bit of a smaller one here, and the water goes right in the cylinder, and these babies really kind of last forever with the water. Okay, so you just squeeze the pen, just get that water going, and you're gonna just kind of bring that color right over. So you're gonna start from one side and just kind of bring it across her face. And if you see a little bit of pencil lines, that's okay, just work them out. All right, now she's going to be kind of lighter toned. I mean, I could make her as dark as I want, and I could probably go in with multiple colors for her skin, you know, and just go crazy. And there are some really talented people out there who are amazing with the coloring. For me, I just kind of wanted to show some people like a really clean, fun, easy to recreate look, okay? Just so that you can sit down and make your cards and not spend hours and hours, but spend a little bit of time just kind of coloring and playing with your pencils. And there she is. She's all nice and colored in. She looks great, doesn't she? Yeah, well, I think, you know, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm going to dry her up real quick. And even if you guys like dry the card and then you say, oh, you know, I kind of wish I had added a little bit more here or a little bit more over there, you certainly can. These pencils are so friendly, user friendly. The pigment is so nice that you really can just start over again, you know, and just kind of go in with a whole other color and blend the two. It doesn't really matter. I'm telling you right now, it's really, really easy to do. All right, that's good enough. All right, so I just kind of wanted to get that. But can you see? It's just a little bit of coloring, and you can still see some of the lines because I'm kind of going quick here. But the watercolor brush really would work a lot of those out if you kept going at it. I'm not too concerned, and I like the way that it looks. Okay, next for the fun parts. Okay, so for Serena, this is the stamp. I took 2 different colors. I took let me see if I can turn on the light really quick so you can see it. I used kind of a teal and a green. Can you see those? So it's number 52 and 58 out of the spring and fall. Let's see if it'll focus here for me, maybe. There we go. And you can see they're kind of like it's kind of like an evergreen and a teal, right? So all I did is I took a little bit of the green and I just kind of went around a little bit in light little circles, okay? And I'm going to add some color over here near this part. And then I did the same thing with the teal. I kind of went around, but this time I was like more generous with the area and where I wanted the color. Maybe kind of skimmed it out a little bit, just like that. That's it. Okay, so can you see? It's just scribbles. Oh my gosh, what a mess. And then I went back with that watercolor brush, added a little bit of color, and this is where I just wanted to start blending. Oh, and there's my phone. Lord knows who's calling. Sorry about that, you guys. Normally I take the phone out of here. I have it upstairs in case anybody calls. Sorry about that. Okay, so you see that color really kind of come to life. Now, if I wanted to, let's say the teal is not dark enough. I can just touch the tip of that pencil with my brush and look at all that color that just came out. Let's see if I can bring this camera down just a little bit so maybe you guys can see. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so all I did is I just scraped some of that color off the tip of the pencil, and look at that. I can really kind of go in with some bold color. Look at the difference. Oh, I know who that was calling. That was my husband. Letting me know he got to the lake okay. I know that's who it was. All right. So now another fun little extra we could do is we can kind of drip some of the water there, okay, and just let it, you don't want too much water, but you can just kind of let it drip. See that? Let it drip. So maybe I could start another one over here. And even on the bottom too. So there's some really pretty, like, fun little streaks. Let me get my paper towel. Sorry, I know I'm moving this around way too much. But see, you can just kind of go in and have that color start dripping. And I can even, maybe I just want to go and add just a tad bit more of the green. So I'm going to pick that up with that watercolor pencil and dab it there in that water. Yeah. And then put a drop and then let that kind of come down too. Doesn't that look cool? I love the drips. Light off. Okay, light off. Sorry, Delana. Delana, I'm very sorry. Okay, so you can see, like, that was so easy, right? And then even if some of the color is too concentrated or you want to pull it more over here to the top of her head, you can just grab it and it'll just go. All right, and then there you have it. And you can just smooth this out. You can actually lift some of the color off with your pencil and dab it with paper towel. You know, like down here, there's a lot of blue going on. But that's okay. I like it, actually. So, really pretty. Happy chick? Like the drippage. I know, isn't the drippage cool? Like, you just don't think to do it a lot of the times with some of your watercolor pencils, or maybe you do, but I like how it kind of comes down from her hair. So that's like one of my favorite things. And look at, I can even dab it off a little bit and dry it that way. So I'm going to set her aside to dry. And that's all I did, really, you guys. And it's a beautiful watercolor look. Okay, let's move on to, let's do summer. It's a little wet on my work surface. I apologize. Okay, so for summer, I'm going to go just a little bit darker for her skin. And I'm going with number 90. I don't know if you can see that. Number 90 out of the same set. Excuse me. And this is where, like, you can really start to kind of play with your colors and see what you really like. And I even recommend, too, if you don't want, like, the lines to show up, just kind of take the pencil on its side and just grab it with color that way. That also helps avoid some, you know, some marks that you may have a hard time blending out later. All right, and I'm going to kind of bring the color across her face just a little bit more. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, like just under her chin, and I'm bringing it down the same side of her neck. All right. Now I got to clean up my brush a little bit. It's got teal and green on it. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of water, and I'm going to have a really pretty chocolatey, gorgeous girl skin tone. I'm just dragging that across. Add a little more water. You can squeeze a little bit more water out, and if it gets along the hairline, you can just kind of remove it with a little paper towel or, you know, finger or whatever. And I'm just going to bring this over. There we go. There's a little bit of color here I got to blend out. Brian, can you close the door at the top, please? Yes. Thanks, buddy. Okay. There we go. See that? And, you know, I could even kind of go in with a little bit of pink for her lips or something. I don't know. I guess I'll do that. I'll grab some pink. Let's see here. Get some water on that. So you can grab a little pink and just kind of give her lips just a little bit of a pink color. Just very, very, very subtle. Not really much at all, but just something kind of fun to try. Okay, and that's it. I mean, I can even keep going back in and pull up some of that color right off the pencil if I just felt, oh, she needed just a shade darker over here. You see that? See where like that really kind of brought some color out? Ooh. Now let's say you do this and you're like, oh my gosh, that's way too dark or way too much color. You can just go in with your towel, like maybe like that part down here is a little bit too dark. So I can go in with my towel and kind of dab that up a little bit. Remove some of the color, go back in with a little bit more water, and just blend it out again. Just like that. So you did remove some of the color, but that's what's so great about these pencils. They're so friendly and easy to use, right? So maybe I can even bring some more of this brown over here. I noticed on camera that it's a little bit lighter than I'd like it to be. But it doesn't matter. She still looks gorgeous, and she has like cool shading and tones going on. Yeah. All right. So next for her, I actually took some of the orange, which is number 21. Number 21 from the set. And I took this color, which is 26. And 26 looks kind of red. But believe it or not, some of these colors, once you start using them, you'd be really surprised and amazed. Uh-oh. Hold on a second, you guys. You'd be really amazed and surprised by the color that you get sometimes. So for this, again, I'm just going to go in real light. And I'm just going to start kind of adding little, off camera, adding little circles of color. Just like so. And let's go in with the orange. So the orange is kind of bright, so I don't need a lot, you know. Some of these colors are really concentrated, so you don't have to do, you don't have to go gangbusters. Go too crazy. All right. I'm just going to grab my my pencil and start dripping some water there on the surface and bringing that color to life. And look how like pretty and pinky that is. Like it doesn't, I don't know if you guys can see on the camera, but it's a lot more pink than you would have guessed when you pulled it out of the tin. So I'm just kind of adding a little water here and just brushing the colors out. That's it. And again, I can go in if I think that there's too much color here and go in and dab a little bit off. Go back in with a little bit of water and kind of smooth it out. Okay, just like so. So here, let me just hold her up. So it's kind of pretty. It's just messy and, you know, unique, but that's all I did. Okay, swear to God. All right, so now for the inside of the card, maybe we can go back to, we'll go back to Serena here. She's a little bit drier than she was. But I'm going to show you, like, just for the inside, I just kind of scribbled the crayon, or yeah, the watercolor pencil everywhere. Just like that. And then I just took my pencil and just started just covering the whole surface. That's it. Now you can get a really cool ombre effect from this. You can, I mean, you can do whatever you want just to kind of custom color. You can mix the two colors you have up, you know, in the front of the card together. For me, it was just about coloring the inside and making like an accent color that you can just see through the silhouette of the girl. That's it. Oh, looks like I got a little bit of ink on her on the inside. So again, go ahead and take some of that color right off the pencil and drag it through and just start adding some shading here and there, you know, wherever you're going to see bits of the background showing through. Now you can easily add stenciling to this as well, which would be really gorgeous. But for this set of cards, you know, I just kind of wanted to keep it simpler and a little bit easier to just kind of create. You see? So you can play around with this too, but that's really all I wanted to do. I just kind of wanted to shade. I wanted to add color so that when the card is closed, you know, you see a little bit of that color coming through the other side. That's it. Yes, yes. And you could definitely do some flecking, like take some gesso and or some inks and just like do some really fun watercolor spots and things like that. I would just cover up the face a little bit and then do it because I can't stand, I don't know what, it's just the way I am, but I can't stand some of the like dots and things going on their faces. I don't know why that bothers me so much, but it does. All right, so let's kind of, let's do Emily real quick. Now Emily's kind of sort of the same thing. But maybe for her, this time around, I'll do some purples, just to show you a couple more color combinations that I think are kind of fun. So this is 119 and 30. So you can see it's kind of like an eggplant and like a magenta. Really, really pretty. All right, so I'm just going to go in, add little bits of those colors. So fun. You can see I'm not being careful at all when I'm on camera. Jeez, what's up with me tonight? And this eggplant is actually kind of weird. It looks more like a gray when you put it on the card, but I swear it's well, I guess maybe it's not an eggplant, but like a grayish purple or something. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can get some of this green off this pen and just start adding the color. Let's see, see that magenta is really just going to kind of come to life. She's going to have cool, like steampunky pink hair. Yes, all my girls have cool steampunky hair. So again, we can kind of blend some of that color, get it moving, and then we can tilt the card up and just let it drip a little bit more. There. And now I'm working out some of those lines that I made. See? Some of them, they just need to be worked out just a little bit more. But that's kind of cool, right? Not as vibrant as some of the other colors, but I can always go back, grab a little bit more of that magenta. Let's see. Ooh, look at that come to life. All right. Yeah. Now I know it looks kind of like messy, but you'll have to trust me. It's all going to be fine. You can, you know, once you start adding like the art ingredients and the flowers and stuff, it just all will start to work together. And more water, of course, always works. Okay, does anybody have any questions so far? I know I'm just kind of coloring and it is. This is so much fun and this is so easy and how fun, you know, and the watercolor trend is in right now. I mean, watercolor is very trendy right now. So why not add that kind of look to your girls, to your cards? You know, we could even do this with Julie Nutting dolls. We could do this with butterfly images. I mean, anything your heart desires. But I just kind of wanted to make a really special set of the Bloom Girl cards tonight just so that we can, you know, you guys can get more ideas and using your girls other than, you know, just for art journaling or, you know, bigger projects. Excuse me while I dry my girls. Paper towel. Probably not going to dry her all the way. I mean, I have quite a bit of water on her. I was being very generous with the water. So it may take a little bit longer to dry. But imagine doing these cards with your kids too. How fun this would be. Like the kids could just help you color and they could do their own girls. It would be just really fun, right? Well, at least I think. I always try to think of things you can do with the little ones, the smaller ones, the wee folk that we let live in our houses. Yes, fun stuff for them. And you know, and then they can be pretty proud of giving the card away too and saying that they made it for their friends. Especially Emily, she kind of looks like she could be a Barbie, kind of like Barbie-esque. There we go. That's pretty good. Just gonna go in and, oh, I have a little pink on my brush. Oh well, no worries. She'll have pink skin. It'll match her hair. Can you guys hear Sam snoring? Oh my gosh, Sam, really? All right, I know it's really hard to see on camera because she is very, very, very light. But you can see that I just kind of went in, grabbed a little bit of that color and brought it across. That's it. All right, so let's pretend now that, let's see, I'm just grabbing my cards. Let's pretend they're all dry. And, ooh, here's even Gardenia. Gardenia, you guys remember from last summer? She kind of had long flowing hair. So this is another example of Gardenia. So I kind of cut off her long flowing hair, but you can see that I did a horizontal card with her and cut her out and then started watercoloring inside of the card. And now all that's left to do is like just her, her face and stuff. I don't know if I brought down a card that is decorated with her yet, but that's okay. So just another idea. All right. So, yes, I have several of these cards now. All right. So now I'm going to show you the fun part. I have these flowers by Prima called Aquarelle. The number is 582647. Okay. And then I have these guys. They're old. They're older. They're called Air Flowers. Airy. The Airy collection. 549572. And what I love about these guys is that they're like little velvet flowers on a branch. And I think a lot of people looked at these and were like, what do I do a branch with the little flowers? Well, I cut them off. I cut off every little flower And can you see how they're like velvety? Really, really cute. So I cut all these guys off and used them as little accent flowers along with aquarelle flowers. And they match pretty well. They're really all kind of cute. All right. So excuse me while I open up my packages here. So on this pack you get 12 flowers ranging in all different kind of colors. I think for her I'm going to go with this really pretty like kind of sherbet orange color, and I'm just going to kind of fluff up that flower just a bit, and I'm going to strategically place it right here. Gosh, Delana, let me know if I'm off camera. I don't know why I keep doing that. It's just crazy. Let me just fix this a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to use a little bit of my Fabri-Tac here to just kind of see why I didn't get all like really, I wasn't real crazy about like where I put the color and stuff, because the flowers are going to just start to cover that up a little bit. So, you know, you don't really need to take a lot of time in coloring in the images if you're going to put embellishments like this. And I think that's what kind of keeps it fun. Let's see. I cut. Oh, jeez. I am having major issues tonight. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I just am. Trying not to cut off these cute little velvet petals as I'm cutting. Maybe I should use smaller scissors. All right, so then these little guys I just kind of bunched around the larger flower. And then put one like down here. Kind of cute. And it's harder to find like smaller flowers these days, you know, to add just a little accent to. So these particular little velvet flowers came in like different colors. Like you can get some yellows and oranges. You can get one that has like pink, blue, and purple. This one has pink, blue, and yellow, which happened to work for me. They're just really cute little guys. There we go. All right. So you notice I did not tear off the green back, which you can, but it doesn't really matter if a little tiny bit of that shows. Okay, next, I'm going to break out my 3D gloss gel. This I actually love to use with the glass beads and the art sugars and stuff because it really kind of grabs hold. It keeps everything a little bit, you know, more dimensional. I'm also going to grab glass beads by Finn. These are called, this color is butter, so it's like kind of a yellowy color. And all I'm going to do is pick up some little dab, just do little dabs right here on the card front. And I'm not being real careful. I just kind of want to scatter the beads over the glued areas. So I'm just adding a little bit here or there. I'm just going to have a little bit of fun with this. Thursday night crafting. All right. Now I'm just going to take the beads and I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them over the glued areas and just press them in a little bit, move them around a little bit into that glue with my finger. There we go. Just kind of pushing them into the glue. They're actually going to really take to this glue really well because, again, it's a dimensional glue. So as soon as you sprinkle a lot of those beads right on there, they just kind of grabs a hold really, really well. All right, and I'm just going to, my computer keeps going to sleep on me. Sorry. See? So I've got just a little scattering of beads like here and up through here and then down in here. Is that focusing okay? So you can still see a little bit of that glue kind of coming through in between the beads. So this is like a great opportunity to take the art sugar. This actually is the white art sugar. And I'm just going to kind of sprinkle just a little bit. And that glue that's already coming up between the beads is just going to grab hold of a little bit of it. And it's actually going to kind of add just a little extra sparkle. That is it. Just a whole other dimension to sparkle goodness. All right. You see that? And it's very, very subtle. And you can see where the glue is still kind of white. All of that glue will dry clear. So it doesn't have to be, the beads don't have to be completely covering the glue where I added it with the paintbrush. It's going to dry clear. And I can tap a little of that sugar off. All right, last but not least, let's see. I have some sequins. Sequins in a bag. Just pick these up at Hobby Lobby. They have all different sizes you can grab. And all I did was pick it up with the paintbrush and put it down wherever I needed it. Okay, so you got a little glue on the end of that. Oh, there's actually a bead too. No big deal. And just kind of slide it off the end of the brush. That's it. See? I know you're probably thinking adding sequins is going to be a huge pain in the butt. It's not really if you do this little trick. There's some beads stuck to my brush. So just picking up the sequins with that tip of my brush from the glue and then just sliding it off and it stays put. Well, it's supposed to stay put. It will. Just let it dry a little bit. All right, and this gives you, the brush gives you the opportunity to push them around a little bit too. It's there's really no science to this. You can just kind of stick them wherever you like them. You can stick them wherever you like them. How do you guys like that? Okay. You see that? They just added a little bit of sparkle. You don't even have to add those if you don't want to. Like pearls would be fun. Individual crystals would be fun. I mean, whatever, you know, whatever you guys think you'd like to use. Okay, so next it will be, we'll let her dry. I'm telling you, these cards are going fast, aren't they? Oh my gosh, it's 10:19 already. Awesome. Well, it's 10:19 for me on the East Coast. All right, so let's go in with Serena. The beautiful Serena. I think for her, I'm going to grab this teal and aqua colored watercolor flower. I think that's going to be really beautiful. And I'm going to kind of put it where that sand dollar is. I think that's the perfect spot. All right, I'm going to go in with my glue. Kind of add some dabs. Ooh, I got to add my little mini flowers first. I'm getting ahead of myself. I just want to go crazy with the beads. Bead crazy. That's what I can. I can do the beads first and then little mini flowers. It doesn't really matter. Right? All right, perfect. Now for this one, I used these beautiful green beads. This is peacock green. I thought they added a little bit of interest. They brought out some of that green color from the watercolor pencils. And just sprinkle those right on there. Push them right into the glue. All right, just like that. All right. You can kind of roll them around and that glue really get them to stick down. Perfect, perfect. Gotta add a little bit more down here too. Just a little bit. See, not too much, just a little bit. See how that glue is just really kind of grabbing hold of some of these guys. I know it's hard to see on camera, but just trust me. Actually, I'm not even gonna be careful about that. See? And then if they're in, like if they're too gloppy in certain areas, you can just kind of take your finger and push them around and maybe, you know, make it so that they're not so concentrated. Like if there's too many on there, you can kind of push your finger on there and remove a little bit or bring some more down or even add some more. You know, it's really up to you. All right, what color? Oh, I'm going to add these really pretty little, these little teal velvet ones here. Or no, actually, the yellow. I'm going to add the yellow. I think the teal would get lost. All right. Cut up a few of these. remember how many he used in the original card, so okay. Let's see. Yes. Add a little more up here. Right here. Yeah, I have sticky fingers tonight. Sticky. And maybe one more down here. There we go. Let me push those around a little bit. Maybe take a couple off. There we go. All right. So far so good? You guys still with me? Nodding? Okay. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that art sugar. Maybe. Huh. All right. And that's it. She's just glittery and pretty. And I guess I'll add just the sequins. I might as well, because that didn't seem to take too long. Picking it up with my paintbrush here. There we go. So, do you guys have plans? Anybody have some plans for Memorial Day weekend? I hope you guys all have a really nice, enjoyable holiday. I know we're going to be at the lake this weekend, which for me just, means cleaning up mouse turds and drinking wine later at night. That's pretty much it. Can't wait for that. My father-in-law, he can't do it. He doesn't even see him. But, you gotta take one for the team sometimes. I certainly don't expect him to do it. All right. Yeah, could you close that door, Jack? Yeah. I asked your brother to do it 5 times, and of course he didn't do it. The difference between the 17-year-old and the 13-year-old. Crazy, crazy. Okay, that's enough sequins. So just a little bit of sparkle. See, here's my original one. I think the original flower had a little bit more yellow in it. It's a little bit lighter, but I think they both came out great. One more thing that I did do to these cards, which I did not demonstrate yet, but I'm going to do that right now. This card's still a little bit damp, but I did take some brown ink. I used my Distress ink, the Vintage Photo, and the small blending tool. And I did go along. Remember I told you when I cut around the edges that they weren't perfect? Can you see those some of those white areas showing through? Well, as soon as I go through and really kind of add my shading with this ink, those seem to disappear. So if you can't fussy cut perfectly, it's not a big deal, because you can just go in with this Distress ink. Now, mind you, this is when you're all done coloring, because this is a water-based ink, so it is going to, get wet again, and it'll move around if you start doing it again. But you can see, like, it just added a little bit of shading to the edges of the card, which I thought was just even better. I think, the more you can add for, like, little details and dimension, the better. Okay, so now you can really see how that added just another little bit of texture around the edge, texture and shading, and it just kind of made the card look really kind of cool. So if you're not a great fussy cutter, Cari has a solution for you. Just go in and ink it. Just ink it. And it'll look amazing, because it's gonna cover up a lot of those little white areas like where you saw before, and now you don't see them, right? So that's kind of perfect too. And when you go to do like a card like this, which I didn't do, I just started decorating and I didn't really ink the edges. just be really careful with her nose. Like, you don't want to give her a brown nose. So be very gentle, like when you go around, and just kind of use your finger to remove it. I know I get funny about the faces, but again, hiding all your fussy cutting mistakes. Oh gosh, I keep going off camera tonight. I apologize. And just like that. So now you can really kind of see it stand out. Oh, look, I got beads and glue on my blending thing. Oh well. Okay, so let's see. I've decorated Summer and Serena, and then I guess I can do Emily really quick, and then we're done. Hey, do I have an Emily that's done? Where is she? Oh, here we go. We have Steampunk Emily. That's right. I forgot about her. Forgot about Steampunk Emily. Let's grab maybe, oh, this one's kind of funky, but it blends in with her hair too much. Maybe we can go with like a purpley flower for her. Ooh, yes, let's do it. All right. I'm going with Steampunk Emily, who kind of looks like Barbie. Just a little bit. So I put the flower up here at the corner. Easy. I guess I could add some of these little pink ones. I think that'll bring out some of the pink very nicely. Why not? Okay. All right. So for her, I can just kind of tuck that one in there. And this other one, maybe I'll have it kind of coming down. No, I don't want to do that. I'll have it up here. Yes. Sorry, my hands are getting all gluey and sticky. Just like that. Maybe. And then I can add another one down here. It's looking pretty. Do you think? Or maybe I could even take that off and add it. Maybe add it up here would be better. It doesn't really matter. I think it's fine there. Okay. All right. And then I only brought like a few different colored beads with me, so maybe perhaps I will just use oh geez, what color bead should I use, you guys? I have turquoise, which will really put it over the edge. I have the butter and I have the green. So let's just do the butter. Why not? I'm playing it safe. I'm not really giving her, I'm not going too crazy. All right. So, and remember, I haven't colored the background yet and added an accent color, but I will eventually. Because I hate to leave cards unfinished, because then, you know, they just sit there and then you can't even give them to anybody because they're not done. Okay, so, and I want to remind you, next Tuesday is Julie Nutting again on Live with Prima. She's got a really, really adorable gift bag decoration using her banner paper pad, which I thought was really genius, the way she decorated it. You can go on to prima.typepad.com today to see it, see what's coming up next week. And then after that, I believe it's Adrian, and Adrian has a gorgeous like watercolor. Again, we're doing the watercolor theme layout to kind of I don't know, I guess bringing that whole watercolor theme together. I didn't really plan it that way, but I should have. I'm just going to say I did, okay? Just tell my boss. All right, we're sprinkling a little more. All right, so, and then you saw me add the sequins before, so I think you get the drift and how to add that. Let's see if I can get the top back on my glitter. So, just kept it kind of simple. You can add more sequins. On the original Emily card, I used actually 2 flowers. I did 2 blue flowers, and then I went in with some of that, the peacock green beads, and I went with the teal little velvet flowers, and then added the sequins, of course. So that's how I made the original one. You can see the other one. So look how different they look with, you know, just different colors. So you guys can really kind of play and have fun. You can give her some lipstick. You could do some eyeliner, you know, just kind of go, you know, go to town if you want. But so that's it for tonight. You know, I hope that, you know, this inspires you guys to go out and make some gorgeous girly cards. And you give them to some of your special friends out there, or your sisters, or, you know, whoever you want. All right. Yes. Oh, yes. And Delana will be making on June 2nd. June 2nd, Delana is going to be joining us with a class actually using the special delivery kit, which I think is really kind of cool. I think that's a lot of people are going to be excited about that, just to get some inspiration and, you know, see how you can use it. So, oh, you're very welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming tonight. You know, these were just really simple, fun little cards to make. I don't know. I could probably sit down and make as many as you'll let me for however long, because these were seriously just so fun to color. You'll be my special friend, Lorena? All right. I definitely would give you one, girl, even though you could probably color one 100 times better than me. She's like the Copic genius. So anyway, thank you so much. Next show coming up is with Julie Nutting. Make sure you go to livewithprima.com to see what the special delivery kit looks like for May. And we are really, really happy to, you know, have you guys come and support us, and we really appreciate it. And I want to say thank you for that. And we will see you guys later. Have a very fun, safe holiday weekend if you're celebrating Memorial Day weekend, okay? All right, take care, everybody. Be good.